Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Fantastic Talks. Today I wanted to talk about grief. I read an article this last week that highlighted what I felt we were all feeling essentially. So when we talk about grief, we're talking about the stages of grief, which are denial, anger, bargaining, sadness, and acceptance. These feelings don't have to happen in a linear fashion. So if we think about denial is when things were starting to shut down and when people weren't necessarily taking it as seriously, maybe. The idea of thinking basically that the virus wouldn't affect us. There's no way we're gonna get it. We're fine. I saw a lot of anger actually last week where some people were upset that this was kind of infiltrating their everyday life. Next is bargaining. I've seen a lot of this in the last few weeks. Some people thinking that if we just all stay home in 2 weeks, we're gonna be fine. Next is sadness, and sadness would just be like, a lot of feelings of like, I have no idea when this is gonna end. Acceptance is, okay, this is what is happening, and I'm going to find a way to deal with this and to move forward. Every feeling is valid. It serves a purpose of like processing. Another aspect of grief that this article outlines, there is a lot of anticipatory grief that we're all experiencing. And that is basically when we start projecting and living into the future and staying there and just thinking of the absolute worst case scenario that we could ever imagine. And we just allow ourselves to sit in that state. What would be important that if you are dealing with that type of grief, that you come back and you set yourself in the present, in the now. There are a few ways that you can do this. You can use mindfulness techniques. You can do some deep breathing techniques. I will link below a relaxation exercise if you're dealing with stress or chronic pain or anything like that. Another thing that you can do, it's something that's called a grounding technique, and I've taught this to many clients of mine, is to look around a room and to find 5 things you see, 4 things you feel, 3 things you hear, 2 things you smell, and 1 thing you taste. It's utilizing your senses and really bringing you into what you're experiencing now instead of thinking so far into the future. A lot of what's also going on is this lack of control that we're all feeling. This is completely normal. I have felt this in my own life. I experienced this a lot when I wasn't able to go out, not because I was told not to, but because I couldn't handle the outside world with my hearing hypersensitivity and many other symptoms like tremors and walking issues and anxiety and the hypervigilance that my nervous system was under. So when I was home alone for the 2.5 years, man, I experienced a lot of different emotions. And one thing that I would allow myself to do is to experience the emotion just for a short time and then move on to something else. Earlier this week, I felt kind of off just in terms of like, okay, what does this mean for my life again to be indoors? But now I can say that by the end of this week, I have newfound motivation to just keep going and to keep motivated, keep on top of things. I can see that in a matter of 5 days, how it's shifted and how I was maybe more on this side of the pendulum and now it's kind of swung back to here. I wanted this video to touch on just the fact that I know we're all feeling stuff. It's okay to feel them. We just have to process them and ground ourselves in the present and be able to move forward and push through. Journal if you need to, talk to friends, reach out. Sometimes just talking about it makes you feel better and makes you feel heard and understood. I hope this gives you some ideas as to what to do if you're feeling low. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. All right, see you later.